Welcome to Lynchburg, Virginia, where today we have an ODAC men's lacrosse showdown featuring the Panthers of Ferrum College and the number 5 ranked University of Lynchburg Hornets. Hello everyone, I'm Joe Hutzler, narrating our journey tonight together from Schellenberger Field as these teams meet for just the second time in this series history. Of course, only one time previously in the first season for Ferrum College as a men's lacrosse ODAC school. Lynchburg won that one on 2019 by a final of 22-4. The Panthers became an ODAC member in 2018. Each team's starters are being announced, but before we get to that, let's talk about the two teams overall in terms of their team comparison. Actually, we're going to hold off on that for a moment and just collect ourselves. And I'll have to help the crew, so pardon me.
Number 44, Corey Hansen. And at defense, number 47, Jeffrey Cobb. And in goal for the Panthers, a junior from Pasadena, Maryland, number 30, Patrick Martinet. The Panthers are coached by Michael Pregame and assisted by Rob Heffron and Zach Louie. And now, for your Lynchburg Hornet. At defense, a sophomore from Sykesville, Maryland, number 3, Chris Darminio.
All right, as the starters are announced, let's continue to try and get together on our pregame here. There's a look at the overall numbers this season in those 4 categories for both teams coming into tonight. Lynchburg tops in the league in terms of goals scored so far, and Ferrum having 89 total. You can see the turnover numbers, and save percentage is actually pretty close overall for these two teams. So we can only hope that it stays close for a little while for your entertainment tonight. As we take a look around the field, we can see for Ferrum, you've got Ballard Early out there, as well as Austin Nowlin. He's going to take the first face-off of tonight's action. Nathan Piggott is on the turf, as well as McCoy Bodmer, who's second on the team in points, a senior from Vienna, Virginia. We also have Jack Sheehan. And we'll get the others as we move along here. I believe it is Brody Johnson in goal. Actually, no, it's Martinek. That makes sense. He does have the most starts for any goalie for Ferrum. We'll get more to the players as this one begins. Chris Darminio will pick up the ground ball for the Hornets, who come into today's contest 7-2 overall with a 6-0 record here at home. They're coming off an up-and-down week against the Generals of Washington and Lee, a loss against the Generals on Friday night, a 12-10 loss, and then a 13-6 victory on Saturday night right here under the lights of Schellenberger Field. They are ranked 5th in the USILA poll. They've been as high as 2nd so far this season. Started outside the top 10 in preseason rankings as Colin Dean whops through and puts the first goal of the night on the board. It has begun.
Goal, Lynchburg. Goal scored by number 8, Colin Dean.
I didn't have to tell you that. Apparently our PA announcer is right next to our microphone, so he can tell you. Colin Dean, 14-19 to go. Adds to his total this season, 22 goals. He's got the 3rd most in the ODAC with 22 now, actually tying Ferrum's McCoy Bodmer for second in the conference. Interestingly enough, the Panthers do not have their leading scorer with them tonight on the roster. Derek Farwell leads the team in goals with 29, points with 37. In fact, he has 32% of the total goals scored by the Panthers this season. Between Farwell and Bodmer, they are responsible for 57% of the 89 total goals this year. And so that is a large absence for the Panthers if they want to have any chance at keeping it close with Lynchburg tonight. Good spin move, and then a pass, just hoping someone was there for it. It came off the stick of Bodmer looking for Piggott. In the end, it's scooped up by Marshall Rodegast for the Hornets. Lynchburg with over 100 calls turnovers this season. You saw there on the pregame graphic, Ferrum with 222 turnovers. So a good recipe for the home team tonight as they celebrate the One Love Foundation. That is the reason for the blue porthole jerseys. They've only worn them twice before. It was a loss against York in 2020. And then they wore them again during the fall for the Hornet Cup here on campus. And there were 3 teams that night, the blue team, the red team, and the white team. And the blue team won. So Coach Kudelka says that these unis, these tops are 1-1 overall, as it's 2-0. The score now after a goal from Ryan Kenny.
Goal scored by number 21. Assisted by number 55, Dylan.
7th goal of the season for Ryan Kenny in his 7th game played, just his 3rd start as well for the junior out of Hingham, Massachusetts. And a win for Lynchburg in the face-off area will allow them to go to work again. Will be interesting to see how long Coach Kudelka and the staff hold off on putting in some names we're not used to seeing. We saw them a lot early with opening the season against the likes of Randolph and Southern Virginia. I'm speaking about people like Garrett McNulty and Riley Flores. No doubt they will make an appearance this evening as Riley Mitchell gets away from his defender. And then a pass that bounces off of Dean's stick and now into Brett Rogers as the first group is still out there. Still very early in this contest. Colin Dean looking for another, instead gives it to Brett Rogers, and he'll find the 5-hole goal he was looking for. Colin Dean took a big shot on that pass to Rogers. And for Rogers, that is goal number 14 this year, and the assist goes to Colin Dean. That's his 8th apple of 2021. Coach Kudelka looking on, looking for yet another winning season when the final tally is made at the end of this campaign. Has over 20 straight seasons with a winning record. And right now that looks to stay intact as a nice pass across the crease from Lewis finds Ryan Kenny, who picks up his 2nd goal in a matter of a few minutes. Just a bad movement for Ferrum, getting back, not talking too much, staying in those shooting lanes. And Ryan Kenny is the beneficiary of that. Coach Bagetta looking on in his 3rd season with Ferrum. Spent 1 year with Bridgewater after 4 seasons with Salisbury as an assistant coach, part of that 2016 national title team. Has some history in the ODAC before becoming a coach when he transferred to Hampton-Sydney as a athlete. Played football on Lacrosse for the Tigers in 05-06. Pretty good times right now for the Tigers as they are the 1 seed in the men's soccer ODAC tournament. And they are hosting Lynchburg Friday night in the semifinals. Men's lacrosse ranked now and in a good position at the top of the ODAC as that shot goes the top of the
Goal,
net.
Lynchburg. Goal scored by number
For Kyle
7,
Lewis.
Kyle Lewis. Assisted by number 55.
17th goal of the season for Lewis, and adds to his point total now with 31. Check it out again, just mid to high, and no chance for Martinek. Junior from Pasadena, Maryland is going to get a lot of shots thrown his way, and we haven't even played 5 minutes. He's already seen 5. Jack Spears gives it up. Lewis thought about it. Skip pass, connects with A.J. Neves. Good to see Neves out there as it rolls back to Robinson, who had 4 goals on Saturday against Washington and Lee. Dremel Robinson controls it at X. Grant Voigt. Just quickly working it along the perimeter now for the Hornets. Neves, a shimmy and a shake as man goes down, finds Lewis, one more pass, bang. Ryan Kenny with a hat trick. Not even 6 minutes into the first quarter. I have already given up on trying to keep up with writing these goal times and scorers down. I will rely on the live stats at lynchburgsports.com. Violation against Lynchburg. That is the first one. It's going to go against Michael Kraus, the freshman from Lake Oswego, Oregon, getting a chance to play tonight. Quentin Ritchie will get more of a break as Lynchburg looks ahead. Well, we as Lynchburg look ahead to Saturday's contest against Roanoke. Going to be a great evening of action here on LSN. Saturday night, lights are on. 2 teams that absolutely despise one another. It'll be the hottest ticket in town for sure. Panthers looking for their first shot of the game. There it is, and it glances off of Patrick Moore. Great effort keeping the ball in play. That was Jack Sheehan. And Lynchburg takes the ground ball and converts it into a clear. And content to slow it down and work through their offense with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. Don't know how long Patrick Moore will stay in the game as the offense continues to put on a clinic here in the first stanza of this 4-paragraph story. And it's a goal for Jake Rust, a freshman from New Hampshire. Gets welcomed into the goal party, just lifts and shoots it down. Rust now on his freshman campaign with a 5-goal spot on the stat sheet, 2 assists to go along with it. Trying to go back to Patrick Moore here. And again, not knowing how long he will be in. I just want to give him some love. He's leading the ODAC in goals against average, just 7.5 goals against. And you think about who Lynchburg has played this season. That is a pretty good number to have for us, just a sophomore. And he's top 5 in 3 of the major 4 categories that the ODAC compiles for goalies. So having a very nice sophomore campaign, getting the start from day one and keeping it with his recent performances, which included over 10 saves against Washington and Lee on Saturday night. Actually, I think that was Friday night that he had 10 saves. So apologies for that. Bouncer that still finds its way to Mitchell, and a big stop from Martinek, keeping it from going between the legs. And then a clear here. Corey Hamilton, the freshman from Westminster, Maryland, brings it down. And a good catch there from Bodmer, but then he throws it away. Just the second turnover in this contest. Both have been charged to Ferrum. Colin Dean, why not? Clangs off the post, though. And Lynchburg will start from the sideline. Martinek getting some help from his best friend in orange. Colin Dean out front. Gives it up to Riley Mitchell. Swims through, looks in the middle, nothing there. Now rolls back, looks in there again. Skip pass, nice one-handed catch from Lewis. No look pass, and then Rogers can't finish. Martinek gets large in between the pipes and collects save number 2 in nice highlight fashion. Ferrum going back to work here, wondering who might be able to pick up the slack left by Farwell. Again, the team leader in points and goals, Derek Farwell, not on the roster tonight for the Panthers. 37 points, 29 goals, and 10 games played. Down goes number 10 for the Panthers, Jonathan Straka. Actually, I beg your pardon, that was 18. That was Bodmer. The 8 and the 0 kind of look the same as this one is stopped from Martinek. It's Parker Dixon, senior, getting some playing time here early as Cole Nestor shakes that one away with a big stick. And Lynchburg will go back to work on offense. So Lynchburg team that averages 15.5 goals per game, just south of 20 goals per game against ODAC opponents, and they're on their way to that number tonight as Dylan Wolf adds a goal to the total, his first of the evening and his 11th of the season. Take a look at it one more time. The best number on the grid, in my opinion. It's a childhood thing, in case you were wondering why 55. You can thank Junior Seau of the then San Diego Chargers. Fell in love with the team and the way he played, and I got that number as soon as I could when I was playing football in high school, and I've just carried it to any sport. I'm always wondering who's wearing that number and are they representing it well, and certainly Dylan Wolf is doing that in his second year with Lynchburg, as the Hornets are going to go a man down for the first time tonight. For Ferrum, this will be their 58th man-up opportunity. They convert 23% of the time. Bodmer had it blocked on its way through. It's good stick work by Dom Zingo. Another freshman getting some crucial playing time here. He's impressed in practice. I talked to Jack Albright last week as he recovers from getting a concussion. As we go even now, Peter Robertson joins the party. I was talking to Jack Albright and, of course, talking about Henry Marinden and what he's been able to do with limited time. And he was quick to talk about Dom Zingo as well. So expect to get a good dose of Zingo, number 43 in blue tonight on the defensive end. Timeout, Ferrum. They are trailing 8-0 with 3.5 to go in the first on LSN. And we're back here at Schellenberger Field on the campus of University of Lynchburg. All even on the turf in terms of numbers, but not even on the scoreboard. Lynchburg with 8 here so far. And having a look at the stats, we know that 6 different goal scorers found the back of the net. Already a hat trick for Ryan Kenny, his first career hat trick in the collegiate level. At the collegiate level. Sorry about the grammar there. As that pass does connect, but right away getting smothered by blue shirts is Nathan Piggott. And in the end, it's Marinden picking it up and taking it back across midfield is Peter Robertson. Robertson dishes, and Lynchburg again content to slow it down and get the group they want in there. But, man, when it's that open, you think about it. Peter Robertson wanted it, just couldn't hang on to the pass. And it's Lynchburg's first turnover of the game. That was Justin Talley coming into your computer screens or smart televisions. How old did I just sound saying television? I don't know, I just felt like I aged 20 years by using the word television. No response from the young bucks in the booth, so I guess they didn't hear or care. They might not know what a television is. I have no idea. And a huge hit laid on by Peter Robertson. Coach Baguetto wants a whistle. Instead, he'll see Lynchburg trotting across midfield again in transition. A skip pass and off the post. Rebound comes outside the crease. And a couple players pinballing for it. In the end, Lynchburg will pick it up and have another opportunity on offense. Spears fakes the pass, dishes, and a shot goes low. Burns some worms on its way in for A.J. Neves. And for Neves, after suffering an injury earlier in the year, an opportunity to collect his first goal of the season. He makes do on that chance in his 5th game played. Seventh different goal scorer for Coach Kudelka and the Blue Crew tonight. More details regarding the blue uniforms tonight. We told you it's to honor the One Love Foundation, which was created after the horrific and untimely death of Yardley Love, who was a UVA women's lacrosse player. And this school, Lynchburg, has supported the foundation for the last 5 years, typically having a One Love workshop, but of course COVID-19 does not appreciate, or I guess COVID-19 itself does appreciate big crowds, but we couldn't do that. So that went by the wayside this year, but still the lacrosse team doing its part to support with awareness as Colin Dean gets his 2nd goal of the season, of the night. And one way for men's lacrosse to do that They started it with York a few years ago. Was wearing blue. Originally, it was just in warm-ups, and then last year it became getting some porthole unis to raise awareness. And as a part of D3 week, which is happening all week around the country in 410 different Division III institutions, a chance to celebrate our student athletes and also give organizations a chance to use a platform to further the awareness of them. This Lynchburg team is spearheading yards for Yardley, the goal of 5 million yards walked, run, rolled, whatever, between now and May 3rd. It started today with a good showing here on the track. Great showing by Lynchburg here in the first quarter. They lead 10-0 after 15 minutes on LSN. Martinek stays in net for the Panthers, who trail 10-0 after 1 quarter of play. Lynchburg led by a hat trick from Ryan Kenny, also 2 goals from Colin Dean. They had 7 different goal scorers in the first 15 minutes as we get another flag on a face-off violation. And I think this is going to go, it's going to go against Lynchburg again. So once again, they will have someone sit. This time it's for having 2 face-off violations here in the first half. And Ferrum will go a man up one more time. Yeah, we're a little late bringing you the replay on that, but either way, we know that it's going to be Michael Kraus sitting and Ferrum going to the man-up team one more time. 0 for 1 so far. And what is the only ODAC men's lacrosse game taking place tonight now that Roanoke and Shenandoah have finished. The Maroons taking care of the other Hornets in the conference by a large margin, 23-5. As there's a great goal on the man-up. How about that shot from Drew Fedoric? That's the next guy in line in terms of numbers on this team. 13 points, now 11 goals. He felt like this was the next man up, if you will, to help the cause of Ferrum. First shot seen by the new goalie for Lynchburg, and that is Tyler Hadley, a sophomore from Summit, New Jersey. And it's a big one for Drew Fedoric. One of 3 Ferrum Panthers top 5 in the conference in shots. Now has 58, and then a quick response for the Hornets, as you would expect. And it's Chris Darminio with his 3rd goal of the season to match the number on his back and his chest. Darminio is becoming very adept at picking up those ground balls after faceoffs and then just dropping the long stick from Thor's lair down into the ground and putting the ball in the back of the net for the 3rd time this year and quickly stamping out any positivity that Ferrum had there for a moment. And putting the lead back to 10 as Lynchburg wins the faceoff again. And we'll have an opportunity to work on some things as they prepare for the Maroons on Saturday night at 7 p.m. here on the Lacrosse Sports Network. Very big match related to the ODAC standings. Roanoke has 1 loss in the conference, as does Lynchburg, as does Washington and Lee. Hampton-Sydney does not. But the Hornets will battle the Tigers in the last game of the regular season here on LSN. And it could be have a lot of big implications related to ODAC tournament seeding and whether or not Lynchburg can keep teams coming here where they are undefeated this season, or if they have to go on the road where they've picked up their 2 losses in 2021. Good effort getting to that ball and giving Ferrum the possession back after a shot that rang off the post. This is Jonathan Straka now for the Panthers as his pass connects to Sheehan, senior out of State College, PA. Traded the opportunity to be a Lion to be a Panther. I made my way through State College 2 summers ago. Really beautiful that time of year. Of course, there wasn't a whole lot going on since it is a true college town and campus was closed as that shot sails high. Now with Sheehan getting involved again. Sheehan's biggest issue will be trying to work through those tall trees that Lynchburg has on defense. Him only being 5'5", and there you see the ball just sail over top of his stature. Just too much for him to reach up and grab. And Lynchburg will take it back. 7th turnover of the half for the Panthers. Lynchburg has turned it over just once. Ty Mitchell, Brooks Poley, and Dylan Wolf, the second midfield group out there with what is still the first attack group. Lewis, Robinson, and Ryan Kenny. 2 righties and a lefty. An important structure to have for any team if you can get that lefty in there and just make the defense work a little bit differently as the ball's being progressed around the formation. Kenny has provided that tonight with 3 goals, shooting from the left side of his body. This is Brooks Poley, the graduate student. Spins through and misses on the shot. Got put through the spin cycle and almost came out warm and dry, but he's still a little bit damp. Have to throw him back in there for a few more minutes. The more I think about it, it probably sounds like I don't know about washing clothes. I'm pretty sure a spin cycle is the washer. The dryer doesn't have a spin cycle. I don't know. It's just me and you. We're just watching the game together, and we're watching Trammell Robinson score for the first time tonight. So that's 5 goals in 2 games for him so far. And for Robinson, another graduate returnee. That's goal number 19 on the season. Clean face-off win for Austin Nowlin. And then a bouncer that's stopped by Hadley. Quick outlet connects to Tyler Gallagher on the run. Gallagher quickly out top to Nestor on the trail. Finds Lewis behind the back pass to Robinson, who puts it home. Cut that one up. Put it on LSN's Instagram. It's made for it.
Goal, Lynchburg. Goal scored by number 10. Assisted by number 7, Kyle Lewis.
Lewis a few times this year has done that and scored. This time gets the apple, and the Hornets continue to pull away 13-1. Sometimes the picture says it all, and it certainly did right there. As we do see some of those newer faces getting involved. Michael Kraus scooping that ball up. And we'll dish it to Parker Dixon. See if we get a A.J. Neve sighting again. We will. Also Grant Voigt stepping on the field for the Hornets. And Jack Spears. So this is the 3rd midfield group on the roster for Lynchburg. Lewis across the crease, and that one never got there. And it's going to be stepping in the crease, I believe, which gives the ball to the Panthers. And now Lynchburg will get it back. Too much of that if you're a Panthers fan. Not enough consistency, getting opportunities handed to you by the opposition, and then giving it right back. That is not going to help your cause. Neves dodges out front. Here's Jack Spears. Skip past to Voigt and goes near side corner for goal one this evening.
Goal!
Fifth goal of the 2021 campaign for the freshman out of Phoenix, Maryland. And a great look at it there by the camera crew for you. Just giving you a heads up, we are having technical problems with our score bug and bringing that to you. So we will continue to work on that. There it is. Kinda. Clock not working, but we will figure that out as the Hornets continue to be something the Panthers can't figure out. Colin Dean with the most nonchalant hat trick in the history of hat tricks.
Goal!
Related to that lack of celebration. I'll take a gander at some other Lynchburg scores as Lynchburg baseball was traveling out to Virginia Wesleyan today, and as I stepped outside to get ready for the broadcast, they went to extras with the Marlins as that save is good for Martinek. And a quick look, we see that Lynchburg won in extras in 12 innings. They take down the Marlins 11-7. That's 7 straight wins for Lynchburg baseball. So congrats to Coach Jones and Coach Beasley, Coach Garcia, Solbach, Coach Moore. They're all coming back happy from Virginia Beach. Number 24, Lynchburg women's lacrosse at Randolph-Macon tonight. Right now, the Yellow Jackets leading Lynchburg 8-5. In the first half. And then indoors, Randolph-Macon women's volleyball took the first set from Lynchburg, took the first set 25-20. So they lead 1-0 in the match, but they're trailing Lynchburg 10-6 in the second set. If you aren't familiar, but you want to know more, you can find out all the information on your Lynchburg Hornets at lynchburgsports.com. It's 15-1 here. Lynchburg leading Ferrum with 6:48 to go on a rolling clock. Again, we're working on the score bug malfunction, but we might have to wait until halftime to get it just right for you. So I'll have to be a radio announcer for a little bit related to that part. Go back to the foundational days of broadcasting. Time and score, the most important part of the play-by-play pyramid. Here's Dylan Wolf back at X. Great pass, and Ty Mitchell will finish to make it 16-1, 6:14 to go in the second quarter. First one of the night for Mitchell, and his 6th of the season. 9th game played, missed one contest due to a foot injury. Second time these two programs have met since Ferrum became a member of the ODAC, and ever, actually, not just since they became a member of the ODAC. This is the second time they've ever got together. There are some recent Lynchburg ties to this program. In fact, former goalie, and whoa, let's hold on to that fact as that ball finds its way in from the sharpest angle possible. Drew Fedoruk with his second of the day. Look at this shot. The camera angle doesn't allow you to appreciate it as much as we want you to. Hadley, you try to use that left shoulder to get in the way, much like you see in ice hockey, but not going to happen there. 21 in black gives Ferrum their second goal of the night on his second of the evening. And a quick response was stamped out by Martinek. Not exactly sure what point I was trying to make before, but they have played once before. 22-4 was the final that day in favor of the Hornets, and they are on their way to eclipsing that number if they choose to do so. A couple times this year we've seen them resort to just taking time off the clock and then throwing the ball over in the corner to allow for the opposition to work on their game. Ian McCarthy out there for the Hornets. That's 53 in blue. McNulty skips him to find Spears instead. McNulty dumps it near side to Neves, looking for goal number 2. Instead, skips it to Spears, who sails it high. Might have got a piece of Martinek, and they say yes, it did. They reset the shot clock to 80 with less than 4 minutes to play here in the second half. Neves, man goes down, got to take that shot. He'll pass it instead, and the shot is bounced wide by Voigt. A.J. Neves always thinking about passing first, but right there might have been better to shoot it as the wraparound is no good for Jake Rust. Has one goal here in the first half already. Does 57. Voigt through the middle and finds the back of the net for the second time tonight. One more time, Voigt just beating his man, Ballard early, who was a bit late to the spot. And making it 17-2 with 3:14 remaining in the second quarter. Clean win on the draw. Dumps it here to McNulty one more time, and that one deflected off the stick of Justin Talley. Initially a good win for Tyler Cooney, though, as Coach Bradney cycles through his face-off guys throughout the contest. Thomas Jackson lost it, trying to get re-involved, maybe get it back. A couple players collide. There's a hand up by the official as this one gets thrown down to Hadley and just becomes a turnover. I think the official was doing that soccer referee thing where you just play on, play advantage. It was going to be Lynchburg possession if the Panthers hadn't thrown it away, perhaps. anyway. 2:17 to go. Lynchburg out shooting Ferrum 34-6, outscoring them 17-2. Firmly in control with 27 shots on goal as well for Lynchburg. An outstanding number to be on target that many times. They've only been off target, if you will, 8 times tonight. Ethan Cotter joins the game, number 19 for Lynchburg, as the hard check comes from Corey Hamilton. And Lynchburg continues to work it around. Drew Carpenter also playing in the midfield now. This is McNulty. Cotter beats his man, gets the right-handed side, and decides to pass it back instead. Jake Rust, one-timer here, and it's missed off the post. Shot coming from Logan Lehman. Lehman, I beg your pardon. Look at the pronunciation before you say the name, Joe. And that's a shot clock violation against the Hornets, as we anticipated. Lynchburg makes a change back near midfield. Freddie Sposato, freshman out of Milton, Delaware, gets a chance to play on Schellenberger Field tonight. And the Panthers just do get it across midfield before 20 seconds goes by. Would have been a backfield violation, if you will. And so their offense will try to add one more here, some feel-good offense perhaps to help them out. 30 seconds left, and Coach Pagetta calls his final timeout of the half, and we're just going to keep it here, and because we're getting ready for halftime anyway. We'll show you some goals. There's plenty of them to show to you. That one might be the most impressive because of the assist for Kyle Lewis behind the back to Trammell Robinson. He has 2 goals tonight. Also 3 goals from Ryan Kenny, 3 goals from Colin Dean, who's having a stellar return as a Hornet. You see the hit put on by Sposato a few moments ago as well. Good work here by the crew overall. Got to tip their cap. Sometimes games like this can be really hard to follow, but they are on their game and giving you some great replays to look at as Lynchburg is dominating this one 17-2, and we start to look ahead to their next contest on Saturday night against the Maroons of Roanoke College, who were victorious today 23-5 over the Shenandoah Hornets. That one is always fun when the Battle of 460 commences on the lacrosse field. And what a year for LSN to bring in Lynchburg as well, related to all these home matches. We've had Salisbury here. We've had Washington and Lee here. We're going to have Roanoke. We're going to have Hampton-Sydney here. Just some really big contests. CNU before they dropped way down the rankings. Really big contests on paper, and they've turned out to be really great games for the home team, great environments as well, and we look forward very much to Saturday night's contest. Under 15 seconds, Ferrum drew up a play during that timeout. Let's see if they can work it into the 3rd goal of the night. Why not? The man who has both just takes a long shot, and Hadley ready for it to make the stop, and that is the end of quarter number 2, the end of the first half. Lynchburg firmly in control by a score of 17-2. We will take a break, come back, talk about the first half numbers, show you some highlights, and get ready for the 3rd quarter. You're watching ODAC Men's Lacrosse on whatever we are, LSN. Let's take a look at some first half highlights here on LSN, and it's going to be a lot of Lynchburg, a lot of that. Dylan Wolf, one of many to score a goal here in the first half of play. Chris Darminia with his 3rd of the season in that long pole position on the turf. Well done, number 3 in blue. Ferrum got involved too. After Hadley makes a save here, we'll see one of their 2 goals in the first half at some point. Got my sequences wrong here. Trammell Robinson, the beneficiary of that behind-the-back assist from Kyle Lewis. 2 goals in the first half for Lewis. There's a save from Martinek. He has 10 so far in this contest. And here is one of the 2 goals scored by 21 in black, Drew Fedoruk. And that one was a beauty, an impossible angle. Fantastic from 21 on the visitors roster. But we are in 2021. We are firmly in the spring. We're loving the weather. We're loving the action. And we're loving the fact that you're still with us in a 17-2 drubbing after halftime. Good start for the Panthers with the face-off victory. Malachi Maxwell playing attack for the Panthers, gave it up. Could have been a chance for Bodmer. Instead, he had to regroup, still has it. Looking for a Piggott. And a ground ball scooped up by Fedoruk. A couple new faces, new names on defense for Lynchburg. That includes Graham Johnson, number 20 in blue. Can't miss him. He's the tallest guy out there. Frank Jobko also on the field for the Hornets. As that long shot is an easy stop, but time running out on the shot clock for Hadley. You see who we have on the offensive end. This is Jobko. Take it, son. Takes contact instead and gives it up in the process. Come on, Frank. Get in there. Take advantage of the moment. Just my opinion. If I could play any lick of lacrosse, I would have done so. I can barely cradle. Jack Spears down the alley, throws it back to X. Rust, skip pass, connects with Voigt. A.J. Neves, great move. The lefty shooting and missing it short side. Just came out of the cross a bit too late in the shooting process. Meanwhile, swinging himself around from X and potting his second of the night is Jacob Rust. It's been a while since he scored, but able to shake the, I have to do it, shake the rust off and score twice tonight. And even with moving the microphone, Mark Weaver is still pounding in our ears. That just comes with trying to figure out the right volume levels on the new speaker system on the basically brand new scoreboard we have at Schellenberger Field, which also features the largest video board in Division III east of the Mississippi. Not quite ready to put it to full use yet, but some folks are coming to train us on that next week. We already know how to do some basic things, but we don't want to use it until we have the full scope of our arsenal. There you can see the big black space there. Yeah, next time, definitely by the end of the season, probably by the Colorado College game, which would be next weekend. There will be all kinds of fancy lights and live stats, and our replays from our broadcast will go up there too. And we won't be over here. We're going to be over there. It's just going to be a long time coming for a very well-deserved student-led, student-run network, the best in Division III and better than most at other divisions. Turnover by the Panthers. Andrew Carpenter working against his counterpart wearing number 9 and making quick work of him. And in the end, it's a goal that started with Carpenter's win and finishes with Riley Flores, the freshman out of New Jersey, scoring for the second time in his freshman campaign. Looking at it again, Carp with the dish, Flores with the goal. Look at some of the assistant coaches for Coach Kudelka. You saw Steve Bradney, Evan Lombardo. Of course, Evan Lombardo, a part of a 4-man assistant group that have played for Coach Kudelka in their previous careers, as Tyler Cooney cannot finish. Martinek with the save, and now putting himself in trouble. He just now gets that one away. And fortunate are the Panthers. It could have been an empty net situation. But back to the Lynchburg assistant crew. We talked about Evan Lombardo. We mentioned him. Seamus McDonald, CJ Santora, and Colin McGuire, all members of the coaching staff and all former players for the Lynchburg Hornets. CJ Santora has a connection to Ferrum. He actually spent 1 year there after graduation at Lynchburg as the goalie coach, and then position opened up here and promptly came right back to Lynchburg as that ball goes wide off the stick of Bodmer. Jeremy Johnson shading Sheehan. Bodmer trying to work around Graham Johnson, and that one's an easy shot to pull in for Hadley. Not a lot of speed on it. Here's Graham Johnson looking and just dishes it back to A.J. Neves. As we dip under 10 minutes to play in the third quarter. Neves, beautiful pass, but a big save from Martinek. Flores couldn't ask for a better position, but Martinek got big in goal. Meanwhile, the Panthers trying to counter with one of their own, and they miss on that attempt. Looked like Jack Sheehan again trying to get involved in the goal-scoring effort for the Panthers. Glancing around at the student section around us and see a lot of pretty good student efforts related to homework. Some laptops are out, so it's not just Facebook on their screen. I actually see reading material and Microsoft Word, so typing up some reports for class and doing it with great weather and with no worries if your home team is going to win or not. 73 degrees here in Lynchburg. Some rain moving in this weekend. It'll dampen our spirits a little bit, but you got to take the good with the bad. As Dolly Parton used to say, if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain. Save again from Martinek. 13 saves for the junior out of Pasadena, Maryland. Good work here by this Lynchburg crew. And that shot got a piece of the stick off Martinek. 2 Hornets dive for it, but it's going to go to the Panthers. Good effort from Jake Rust, but nothing doing in the goal department. This is Thomas Jackson. Cuts to the center. Will he let it go? First shot? Not this time. And a turnover. 16th turnover for the Panthers this evening. Lynchburg looking for a shot. There it is. Graham Johnson, a lot of speed, but out of the groove. and over the net. Lynchburg's highest goal total in a single game this season is 24. They did that twice. Once against Randolph and once against Guilford. That Quakers team was pesky early, actually leading Lynchburg 2-0 in the first quarter. But that, of course, did not last long, as Lynchburg went on to win 24-6. Check this one out, taking a lick at the end of it, but the shot was on target for Nils Holland. Another freshman getting involved on the goal side of things.
Goal, Lynchburg! Goal scorer by number 49, Nils Holland.
And putting Lynchburg on the 20 or more goal mark for the fourth time in 2021. I told you about the other two of the other three. The third of that group was a 20-9 victory over St. Mary's here on LSN, the day after defeating then number 1 Salisbury. I mean, that mic is so small, you pick a tiny spot on the net and the ball finds it. Incredible. Incredible. Well, in case you want to know what it sounds like when the ball hits the net, that's what it sounds like. Thank you, Mr. Bodmer, for helping us get that sound. I'm sure McCoy Bodner and the rest of his teammates would love to have the help of Derek Farwell. Through 10 games, had 29 goals, 37 points. Mysteriously not on the roster tonight as Hadley makes that stop. Farwell, number 1 in the conference in goals, number 1 in points as well. Also third in the conference in total shots. So you're missing a lot of production for the Panthers. And they could use any bit of it that they could find. Whistle, and I think we got an offside situation for Lynchburg, so the Panthers will take it back. With 5:10 remaining in the third quarter. Just a quick gander at the rest of our games here on LSN in the regular season. All home games for the Lynchburg Hornets on the Lax Sports Network. We told you multiple times, and we'll probably bring it up again, about our next broadcast Saturday night, 7 p.m. under the Schellenberger Field lights against the Maroons of Roanoke College. Then we are back on the air on April 25th, another 7 o'clock start against the Colorado College Cougars, who are now ranked in the USILA poll as Hadley makes that stop. And then the final game of the regular season, a big one, most likely related to ODAC tournament seeding. That'll be May 1st. 7 p.m., senior night for Lynchburg against the hated Tigers of Hampton-Sydney College. Some really good ones for you to mark on your calendar that you'll find right here on LSN, celebrating their 5th year of existence as Lynchburg looks for some tricky plays through the crease. It's going to be Martinek swatting it down and bringing it out for Ferrum. LSN has come a long way in 5 years, providing a service that's desperately needed when it comes to the folks that love lacrosse. And now, thanks to the work of the LHSN, Lynchburg Hornet Sports Network crew were able to bring consistent Division III coverage to Lax Sports Network. It's been great to have them help us out on social media, making highlight clips. So be sure to follow them if you don't already on Instagram, Lax Sports Network. As a big hit's laid on here late in the third quarter with 3:10 to go. That was Jack Spears applying the pressure to Bodmer. And a push going against Ferrum. Actually, I think he was in the crease, beg your pardon. In the crease was Sheehan. So Lynchburg automatically gets the ball back. It's been a slow quarter for Lynchburg's offense. Of course, you've got new faces out there doing what they can to get better, work on their craft, work on specific games, game plans, X's and O's. But just 3 goals here in the third quarter after 10 in the first, 7 in the second. Time to add at least one more with 2:23 remaining. Voigt gives up to Spears, and he wanted it all. It gets to be a moonshot after good defense. Ben Ghana, the freshman from Woodbridge, getting his stick in the way of Jack Spears' shot. As Spearsy looks to put himself on the goal sheet for the first time tonight. "13 different goal scorers for Lynchburg, highlighted by 2 hat tricks this evening. Colin Dean with his second, I believe, if memory serves me right, second hat trick of the season, might be his third. Ryan Kenny with his first career hat trick. As that one sails through, and scooping it up on the run is Rob Hakes. Hakes gives it off, and it's going to be off the bar from Flores. Rolls back out to midfield, and guess what? Hakes is there again. So good ground ball work from 32 in blue. Cotter for Carpenter. Carpenter uses that big frame to get some space and collect the goal on the other end of that shot. The 14th different goal scorer for the Hornets. Second goal of the season for the senior. And Lynchburg with 21. Just manhandling that Panthers defense. The big cloggers of Andrew Carpenter creating space and taking advantage. Quick ground ball pickup after that faceoff. McNulty goes up top, and Martinek is ready for it. 35 seconds to go in the third. Two seconds left, and I'm not sure if Ferrum knew how much time was left. As the quarter ends, Lynchburg extending their lead. They're on top, 21-2 with 15 minutes to go on LSN. Well, when something happens for the first time, we want to relive it as much as we can, and we're going to do that for Mr. Ryan Kenny. A hat trick this evening, all coming in the first 6 minutes of the contest. He had his second goal of the night and added a couple more later on. You can see the first. Here's the second with a nice pass from Kyle Lewis, and then Kenny taking care of business on that bottom right side. And here he is again. Check out A.J. Neves. Lewis, quick pass. Again, Ryan Kenny, the beneficiary of 7 assists. And 3 goals for Mr. Ryan Kenny as we cruise into the 4th quarter. That's kind of like how Lynchburg has been, on cruise control throughout this one from the very get-go. They have been in the lead and taking care of business in a game that they should do so. And you can see the guilty party, the guilty face of Graham Johnson, who is going to call for that foul and head to the penalty box. Lynchburg is going to go a man down for the 3rd time. Wow. It's a push for sure, but didn't know it was that bad. Ferrum 0 for 2 on their man-up chances. Actually, I don't know if that's right. No, they are 1 of 3. That's right. They did score with Frederick. And here's a shot that's saved by Hadley, who's done a really good job since coming in to start the 2nd quarter. He let his first shot seen get by him, but since then he's been strong. Since the start of the 2nd, he has faced 9 shots and has saved 6 of them. 7 of them now. And the offense for the Hornets will go back to work. Lynchburg out shooting Ferrum 53-14 this evening. 53 total shots, 39 have been on goal for the Hornets. Very efficient evening for the home team. You can hear a little bit of the chatter coming from that end of the field. Around is Flores, dishing for McNulty, but just a bit too tall for number 31. Over and back, Ferrum possession. Behind the play is a Ferrum Panther down and comes up a little gimpy, does Nathan Piggott. Hopeful that the freshman out of Raleigh, North Carolina is okay. The capital city of North Carolina, beautiful place, and a hotbed for tech. That is Raleigh, the home of NC State. It's a great area of the country. Raleigh, Durham, Greensboro, High Point, Charlotte, Concord. Big fan, big fan. Can we get a third? No. Hadley stopping that one from 21 in black. That close to a hat trick. Instead, it's Lynchburg on the counter. Here we go. 1-2 on the trail. Graham Johnson lets it go, and Martinek is there. 19th save of the evening for that man. Of course, he's seen way too many shots, but he has done everything he can to keep this score from getting any worse. Ground ball scooped up and eventually dished away. Trying to get a number here to give him his due. That long pole for Lynchburg. Still looking. There we go. 18. That's Mr. Will Scheimer. Gosh darn it. Will Scheimer, the freshman from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. As Carpenter bounces one over top. Sometimes in life you can just be overly confident and convince people that it is something that it isn't. But when it comes to names, mom and dad know. I don't want to let mom and dad down. Behind the back. It's going to end up being a pass in the end. It could not connect, so Flores will try his luck at it going up top and take care of business. Ian McCarthy really wanted to be on LSN's Instagram page. In the end, it's Riley Flores collecting his second goal of the evening. Just beating his man to a spot and getting it over to the top of Martinek. Coach Kudelka and company honoring faculty and staff members that were in attendance tonight, a way to appreciate them during D3 week. Lynchburg softball also takes a moment during one of their contests to thank faculty and staff, as they are crucial to the campus life and landscape. A lot of great people that I heard were here being honored during the break, including Deb Bradney, who loves my commentary. Danny Hedrick was out there as well. Tom Bowman and his wife, Kate. Now I'm just trying to think of everybody. I'm going to miss some people, I know it. There were so many. I mean, I was really impressed with how many folks came out. Adam Dean was here, one of our FAR, faculty athletic representative, always in our staff meetings every Tuesday. Really glad they got a chance to be cheered on by both their peers and their students in attendance this evening. The plan is, I don't know if it's still on, but the plan is to honor our most recent president, Dr. Kenneth Guerin, on Saturday against Roanoke, a school that he attended and was a professor at, but then quickly got rid of all of his maroon-colored shirts in favor of the Lynchburg red. 19 years as the leader of this campus, oversaw a lot of great changes for the institution. Big supporter of this program. Very present at that national championship run in 2015. And because of COVID, the lacrosse program did not get a chance to honor him last year on his way out of office. So now that he's had some time to enjoy retirement, he can come back to campus as Hadley makes another save and get the honor that he's due in front of everyone on Saturday night. As the Hornets score in transition, McNulty gets the goal.
Goal.
And right there you see the assist man for Lynchburg, Dylan Schuster, connecting with McNulty, who started the season in a big way, having a hat trick against Randolph. He now has 6 goals in his freshman season. Coach Bagetta and his staff continue to make adjustments, doing what they can to improve on nights like this. It's got to be tough, but it also has to be done. Few ticks under 8 minutes to go in regulation as the Panthers try their best to put one more on the board here. They had 4 against Lynchburg in their only other matchup in program history. That was in 2019. 22-4 was the final that night. Lynchburg might add another one here to match that score for themselves. As we take another look at the Lynchburg Sports scoreboard, we see that number 24 Lynchburg women's lacrosse leading Randolph-Macon 15-12 in the second half. Again, that would be a huge win for their program's history as they try to prove they belong in the top 25. And indoors, an excellent battle happening on the hardwood for women's volleyball. Lynchburg leading Randolph-Macon 2-1 in the heading into the fourth set, and they are leading the fourth set 15-12. So after years of struggle against the Yellow Jackets, who are a national contender in Division III women's volleyball NCAA tournament action, Lynchburg might be on their way to their biggest win in program history in a long, long time, probably since defeating the Generals of WNL at WNL about 3 or 4 years ago. McNulty goes for the behind the back, and still just Kyle Lewis only being able to create and finish those. Also some history being made inside during that broadcast. First time in LHSN history, which is brief, only 5.5 years old, but the first time that we've ever featured 2 females on a broadcast leading the program. 2 former volleyball players, Erin Farina and Lauren Stanford, on the call inside. So bringing more of that only analyst approach, no traditional play-by-play person in there. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing what they have to say about the contest, seeing if they can keep their emotions more in check because they are on a microphone. But I'm sure if Lynchburg is able to pull off that upset, they're not going to be able to hide their happiness, and probably shouldn't. Turnover for Lynchburg. Not too many of those tonight. Just their 8th overall. Lynchburg as a unit with 154 on the year. And thanks to the power of technology, I can do quick math on my phone. They average 17 turnovers per game, so well below that number. Can Ferrum add another? Sheehan has been involved all night long. He's had a couple really good shot opportunities. He just hasn't been able to find the back of the net yet. Saw a glimpse of Dylan Schuster, sophomore from New Albany, Ohio, wearing a number that carries a lot of weight in these parts, number 28, most recently worn by Kevin Rogers, who's now wearing 77 at High Point University, using that extra year of eligibility to see how he fares in the Division I lacrosse world, and he definitely fits in. Earned the starting role to begin the season and has kept that and continues to put up great numbers at my alma mater as the Panthers look to win the SoCon this season. Richmond's always been a thorn in their side. Even last year, well, I guess 2 seasons ago now, hosting the SoCon, they weren't able to get the job done at Vert Stadium. So many good wishes sent south to the furniture capital of the world. And Mr. Kevin Rogers. Nils Holland out there with Logan Lehman. Ethan Cotter, that's your midfield group. And Lynchburg turning it over here with 3:02 to go. On their way to a 7th victory at home. They have yet to taste defeat on Schellenberger Field. It'll be their 2nd victory in a row. They'll advance their record to 8-2 overall before they welcome in the Maroons of Roanoke College, who stand at 5-2 overall, 3-1 in conference play. Lynchburg will now be 3-1 as well in ODAC play. That shot missing wide from Jake Rust. Ferrum's going to fall to 3-8 in their record overall, with a 1-5 conference record to boot. Next up for Ferrum, they will be heading north to Winchester, Virginia, this Saturday at 1 o'clock to take on the other Hornets in the ODAC, Shenandoah University, before they welcome in Washington and Lee on April 17th. Hit the road again at Bridgewater on the 24th, and then they finish the season at home in Rocky Mount, Virginia against the Marlins of Virginia Wesleyan on May 1st at 4:30 p.m. Nice effort. Again, Sheehan doing what he can, using that lower center of gravity, and Hadley was ready for it. Makes the stop. Here's Graham Johnson desperately trying to get on the score sheet, but will pull off the road instead and let someone else take the wheel. And for the third time this season,
Goal, Lynchburg.
Lynchburg with 24 goals. It's Logan Lehman with his first of the night. And for number 11 on the home team, that is also so many goal scorers this year for Lynchburg. Just an embarrassment of riches. Hard to find the numbers overall. That is goal number 3 for number 11. Sorry it took so long. "66 shots tonight for Lynchburg. That is a season high. 46 shots on goal, season high as well. 11 saves for Mr. Hadley, 1 save for Patrick Moore. And they've won 17 of the 30 faceoffs, using everyone at their disposal. 53 ground balls for the Hornets. They've cleared all 23 of their clearing attempts, just 9 turnovers, 7 calls turnovers. Man-up team was not featured tonight. The man-down crew held Ferrum to a 1-for-3 conversion rate. And the foregone conclusion is now a present one as the horn sounds. And the hive has spoken. Lynchburg, second time they face Ferrum, and they're 2-0. 24-2.